And now, latest Gorill-eases. Only the brave tread here. This week's a memorial to new movies. Why so dramatic? Well, we're only 3 weeks into Wakanda Fever, and now there are a lot of new ones fighting for your eyes. I mean, they probably won't all bomb, but I'm here to do my bit to make sure some of these gems aren't all just washed out in a pretty preoccupied marketing machine. Too long, didn't listen, other movies landed this Friday, you should treat yourself. Disney said we took you to Mexico with Coco, Polynesia with Moana, Italy on Luca, and Encanto's Colombia. Name another country. You cannot. Next stop, Strange World. That sees another eclectic family in a long line of explorers, with Jake Gyllenhaal feeling like the inadequate odd one out, now tasked with charting an alien planet. It's also got Dennis Quaid, Gabrielle Union, Lucy Liu, and no doubt giving life to all manner of goos and oozes, the excellent Alan Tudyk. The style of it all looks like it has no home, but hopefully it's good enough for your littlest strangers. I found a surefire way, however, to finally cease your kids religiously screeching along to Frozen. Take them to see Roald Dahl's Matilda the musical. On the big screen in some countries now, then they can also drive you nuts when it moves over to streaming next month. Actually, this looks pretty good. None of that streamer tacky gloss, and Stephen Graham, Emma Thompson, and Lashana Lynch look class as always. It's adapted West End roots, and even as a guy who generally sighs at musicals, I found director Matthew Warchus' previous sing-song and dance in Pride really well polished. Check your cinema listings. And because sometimes the kid carers need care too, Nanny looks right creepy. It's a pretty basic contradiction, but no one wants to look it in the eye. Who takes care of the nanny's children? And on top of spiraling paranoia for her own back home, that's like 6,000 kilometers between New York and Dakar, is the nightmare of US immigration. I'm keen for its obvious Get Out and Rosemary's Baby comparisons. Good date night horror. Find a babysitter for the kids. Maybe. Hey, remember when they finally arrested Harvey Weinstein, then just cleaned out media of all high-profile patriarchal sex predators, and then there was just no more systemically abetted abuse? Yeah, me neither. Me Too might have been put on snooze, but She Said looks like a charged wake-up. Force of Nature, Carey Mulligan and Zoe Kazan look like a strong team-up for that classic high-strung rabbit-hole journalism. David and Goliath against the system type of thing, like masterpiece spotlight. Truth and tension enough for a big screen? I'd give it a chance. And sure, pen mightier than the sword, blah blah blah, but what beats a blunt force propagandistic ball mace to the white meat? I just happily handed my brain to Top Gun Maverick. Maybe devotion's the next logical step. It's like Glenn Powell did a mid-air refuel between movies, and Jonathan Majors already looks like the best thing in Ant-Man and Creed coming up, so why not here too? What can't he do? Hopefully at the heart of its Korea War jalopies it has the clip of a tomcat, but I have my doubts. Limited theatrical circulation starts for a sequel critics are eating up, fans are gagging for, but kinda makes singular me just want to cry. Glass Onion returns Daniel Craig as Detective Benoit Blanc to the Knives Out saga, with yet another all-star cast, looking to do some comedy crimes. I'm hoping it's just the nature of trailers that I didn't laugh once, despite my affection for Craig and Bautista. I'll wait for it streaming next month, but hey, I'm just an outlier layer of the veg, so appealing to a ton of you. By all means, go wild at a good few cinemas without delay. And releases are now globally staggered from this weekend to March, but that's not the only reason I'll keep talking about The Fabelmans. Mostly, I'll just be stuck on a loop in awe at how incredible this looks. Lots of people try to do stories about the power of story and myths. I'll chat about the wonder later, but Spielberg believes down to every cell and frame that cinema has the power to change the world. And even for a skeptic like me, a mere trailer's dose of optimism has me wanting to believe in that Spielberg magic again. The Fabelmans, a master's jaw-droppingly gorgeous movie about movies making us better to each other, is better on a big screen. We'll hug it out there. And I hate to do this, but I'm gonna rapid fire through the tiniest movies in the fight for their lives right now. Timely as ever, UTAMA is a painfully beautiful tale about the little guy treading water to survive against climate change. Bolivian water from Cochabamba to Bond is a sign of the times, and that time is now. The title, What Do We See When We Look at the Sky, just decimated my word count, but it looks entrancing, and it's a rare romance I'm here for. Support the little guy too, and I'll give them more airtime in future. But Timothée Chalamet is the obvious reason Bones and All will take the biggest bite from the weekend, so why don't I let the fine young cannibal speak for himself?
Bones and All is a love story. It's about two people that are not only safe with each other, but really in love, comforted by one another. I was moved by Lee and Marin's story. carrying something that you carry shame with or can't quite make sense of. I was attracted to this character of Lee because I felt he had figured out how to game the system to survive with this condition.
Why did you offer to bring me along?
You seem nice. His biggest vulnerability is true love, is kindness. So when he finds that with Marin, in those moments where you're able to fall for someone else, you look more closely in the mirror, I think what he sees is terrifying.
I felt that that character was a great role for Timothy. And of course, we had a great experience doing Call Me By Your Name. I was experiencing the beautiful blooming of his path in cinema.
What was your first time like?
He was a babysitter.
Mine too. I think he's one of the most unique performers alive today. Also somebody who's so spontaneous. Okay. Who's really inspired by what's happening in the moment, and you want to work with people like that because that's where you get, you know, the special little things that happen.
I think he's so heartbreaking, and I think everybody's heartbreaking in the movie. Timothy in particular, though.
Timothy is a producer on this film and had a very positive effect on this film.
And it was an opportunity to get to develop something for the first time, getting to take my experience and putting that into a character.
That's how this works.
How what works?
This, whatever this is.
He brings a sense of insecurity, tenderness, that beautiful sense of openness and impossibility that are so strong.
You don't think I'm a bad person.
All I think is that I love you.